Hello, everybody.
Hello.
Welcome to the Chengdu Giant Panda Research Base, where they house giant and red pandas. Currently, we're online to go into a giant panda villa, which I assume is where they live when they're not outside.
We see one right now that's just like lazing on a tree.
Yeah. There's one just sort of hanging out over there,
He's having a great time.
as expected, because pandas are quite lazy.
Oh my god, yeah, we got these cute little like little panda headgear.
Oh. They have all sorts of funny, cute accessories.
Yeah, Charles, you want to tell us why pandas are lazy?
Now, pandas are so lazy because all of their diet is bamboo,
Most of it.
which for a member of the carnivora order of the animal kingdom is probably not the best idea.
It's really inefficient.
Bamboo is not high in caloric content, and pandas are still in the process of getting better at, evolving ways to digest it efficiently. So all day, all they can do is eat and sleep and laze about.
It's actually really interesting how their digestive systems are like built as carnivorous, but like their diet is just mainly bamboo, like 99% bamboo. We're actually surrounded by a lot of like bamboo clumps right now, which really interesting. Bamboo has like this natural cooling effect, which is great because it's like really hot in Chengdu right now. And they're also like super producers of like oxygen. Apparently they produce like a little more than 30% greater than the oxygen production by trees, like by an equivalent amount of trees, which is crazy. So apparently living in a bamboo forest can sometimes give you an oxygen high.
Oxygen high?
Yeah.
I've never heard of that. Would I get super high if I breathe only O2, just pure oxygen? None of that. None of that other stuff that's in the air. I think our air is like only 20-ish% oxygen. Kelly, this is why we shouldn't have moved it, because now it's less stable.
No, this is great. This is like bloopers.
So, if we put 5 times as much oxygen in the air, would I get super high on oxygen?
Oh, I like how it says be quiet, but then
I don't want to spread misinformation. Oh.
okay. Oh, it's getting off. It's getting off.
等一下啦，
I think we have a fine view.
So what did we learn about pandas today at the Chengdu Giant Panda Research Center?
These pandas that we've seen today were mostly lazing about because, I mean, really, they don't really have a lot of energy to expand on since their diet is mainly bamboo. We've also seen like a sign that said like, was it honey and then like some animal carcass remains as well. But it's like 99% bamboo, like leaves, shoot, stems, things like that.
And to have your diet be so specialized like this means that as a species, you are more vulnerable to changes in the environment, more vulnerable to extinction.
Right.
And we've already seen giant panda populations decline a lot during the 20th century as humans built roads and cities, deforesting the area. And now we're seeing even more problems with their habitat decreasing with climate change because they are so reliant on bamboo. They need to be in places with bamboo. And as the climate warms, the parts of the world that bamboo can grow in will decrease.
Yeah, because bamboo, though it is, from what I've heard, pretty drought resistant, it still does need like a certain amount of precipitation and certain environmental conditions in order for it to grow. Otherwise, I think it kind of, a lot of the times it'll prematurely grow and then very quickly die in like very arid conditions, or when it's not a set like ideal environmental setting for them to grow in. And so because these pandas are such specialized creatures and they're very unique amongst a lot of the different bears, like for example, I think like grizzlies, right? Grizzly bears, they have all these different sources of consumption. They can eat fish, meat, berries, plants, right? But these pandas can pretty much mainly eat bamboo. And so if there is, and also they eat a lot of it because like, they need a lot of it to like have energy.
Yeah, they eat for like 12 hours a day.
And the other half is like sleeping,
Exactly.
like resting. And so if you think about like, if this like source of food were to suddenly disappear or like even like wane in quantity, that's like a huge impact on their population because they don't have an alternative to go to. And so like as a result of this, because of like the effects that global warming has done, where now there's a lot of bamboo populations that are declining and also deforestation and human impact as well, scientists are predicting that there might be like clusters of like bamboo forested areas found in the natural wild that pandas will be able to grow in. But that's bad because that also means in these sequestered areas, if there's any kind of endemic sickness or disease, there could be local extinction.
Yeah, and climate models project that by the end of the century, from between 80 and 100% of all bamboo will be gone.
It's crazy.
With a population as low as only like 2,500 in total, that's a scary place to be in if you're a giant panda. Mm-hmm. Luckily, there are some conservation efforts.
Like the place we're in today.
Yes.
It's actually like a lot of the research base is specifically for breeding pandas because it's also like at a reproduction level it's really hard for them to grow in population as well.
Panda breeding is really funny.
Like, have you guys heard about like how mother pandas, like usually when they have two cubs or twins, they'll kind of like drop one and they'll keep one of the other? So a lot of the panda research bases or conservation bases will try to preserve both of the babies or both of the cubs
by doing a child swap
while
the mother is not
like
paying attention.
If you guys like watch one of the videos, it's actually kind of funny because the mom will just take the food and drop her first baby and then
here's some bamboo.
Yeah. It feels like their population is so fragile because it's just so specialized and heavily dependent.
And specialization leads to extinction. There's a reason why when we talk about, in general, in natural history, when we talk about a species or a group of animals being successful, we're talking about not just an increase in population, but an increase in specialization. Mammals are a particularly successful group because of how generalized we are, how much we've branched out. Humans and most bears in particular, can sort of eat whatever, right? Humans are very good at adapting to our environments. That's why we live anywhere on land. We can live for the most part, except maybe the poles, can live anywhere on land.
Yeah, you have humans who have adapted to all of these different types of environments because we have found ways and mechanisms in which we can live in otherwise considerably very extreme environments. But these pandas, they do thrive in a particular kind of environment. Like today when we were at the, I don't know what it's called, but it was like
The Panda Villa.
in the Panda Villa, we actually didn't get to see the pandas because it had reached above 25 degrees Celsius. And that's usually around the temperature that, you know,
Yeah, they can't be outside if it's
They're out.
over 25 degrees
yeah,
with all those layers of fur
right.
and all that fat.
Oh,
you
yeah.
know, keeping them. Well, maybe the fat is good for insulating. Actually, I'm not sure how that works. How does fat insulation work in really hot temperatures? Is it helpful or not helpful?
Right, because also Chengdu is really, really hot. So I wonder, like, if pandas are endemic to China. I don't know what parts of China they've like necessarily grown from. And I know there's parts of China, like it's such a diversified like ecosystem in this country where it's like you have really, really hot areas, really, really cold areas. I wonder like if they kind of just grow in these like very particular areas and we've just like kind of mapped them across. I'm sure that is the case, but like I wonder like what area specifically, you know, they were naturally, you know, able to live in the wild. Because I'm curious also to see the change between nowadays and historically as well.
Yeah, I mean, they were doing just fine until we came along. You know, currently there is a mass extinction going on that we don't really think or care much about that is being caused by humans. Right? We haven't had extinctions at this rate since, I don't know, the Ice Age. Even then, it might not even be that as many extinctions as are going on now. So,
oh, but I will say, pandas are listed as like a class 1 type of animals by China because they are like very, very heavily protected. I think they're like one of the top species.
Yeah, you can't hunt them. You can't
trade them, poach
sell them
yeah.
for their parts or whatever.
Yeah. And so there are definitely policies in place, both environmental and animal conservation directed policies to prevent the further endangerment of these animals. But yeah, it's just like such an interesting predicament that nature has given us. When you have an animal that's so specialized and so heavily dependent on one food source, when it seems like it's so hard for it to live out there on its own, especially with like, you know, natural selection and everything, how do you prevail as a species when you have so much stacked against you?
Yeah, they're lucky they're cute. If they weren't cute, I don't know if we would have this much momentum.
It's crazy.
In trying to save them.
Yeah, it's crazy that it's like literally in our hands.
But yeah, we'll see. We'll see in the coming years what the panda population looks like.
Mm-hmm. And what global warming looks like.
You know, it might have to be the case that they will be extinct except in captivity.
Oh, that's
come end century.
Yeah. Hope that's not the case, but
but it seems their role ecologically is coming to an end, which is a sad thing to think about. But nature is ever changing, ever evolving, ever requesting new things of its inhabitants.
It's also crazy. I'm sorry, this is kind of a tangent, but with bamboos, they're really, really cool. Like, they're so. Speaking of diverse, heterogeneous like usages, bamboo has been used in musical instruments, food. It's like a very cardinal like dish that's used in a lot of Chinese recipes. Have you ever tried bamboo?
I have eaten bamboo.
Yeah, I kind of like it actually. And it's also used. Oh my god, it's used in architecture because it's so strong. It's very flexible. Like it's you can it's so versatile.
Oh yeah, I like those Japanese fountains. Or they're not fountains. What are those called?
Where like the water trickles down.
Yeah, and then it flips because there's enough
Yeah,
water.
the weight of it.
It goes on the other side.
I don't know. So it's used in architecture. It's used for food. It's used for musical instruments. It's been used for weapons.
Weapons?
Yeah, because it's very sturdy and strong.
Oh, that's true.
Yeah. It's been used also to like help with like, you know, obviously like, you know, for pandas as well, we grow bamboo. And I think just because like it has the cooling effects and it produces a lot of oxygen, it's been grown around in a lot of places as well. Like you have like famous areas like in Japan, the bamboo forests, and there's a lot of bamboo forests here in China as well. but they also just have great environmental impacts. Like they absorb a lot of carbon dioxide, and then they also emit a lot of oxygen as well, or release a lot of oxygen. So I think the oxygen release is like around 30 to 35% more than like the same amount of trees, and then it also absorbs more carbon dioxide than its like tree equivalent as well, which is cool. I think that's really cool. And it's also insane to think that this is a type of grass.
Yeah, weird to think about.
Yeah.
Sometimes evolution does weird things.
Right.
Just like how palm trees, I think, are a grass.
Oh, really?
Yeah, they're not trees.
Oh my god. The more you know, guys.
There's some weird stuff out there.
Yeah, I'm sure there is.
Red pandas aren't actually pandas.
Yeah, we saw.
Or aren't actually bears.
Like yeah. Like there's the genus, right? Like the species in the genus, and like red pandas are like in their own specific like category.
Yeah, they're not even in the same family.
They're not connected at all.
As bears. They're not
Right.
in Ursus, I think is the name of the family.
They were really cute though.
The red pandas are cute too.
Yeah.
But there's nothing like watching a giant panda just lie down or sit up and just constantly be eating bamboo and
Flower.
out the bamboo while it's eating the bamboo. You know, no time to waste.
You're right. It is lucky that they're cute. It's kind of insane how much autonomy we have and like the natural it's a little bit existential,
Yeah,
but it's like
any large animal species is only around because we let them be around.
what a great note to end on.
Yeah. We could hunt anything to extinction.
We could.
I think insects they could one up us. I think they could. Insects can hide from us, but you know, big animals like pandas, very vulnerable. I mean,
Very
big animals
vulnerable.
in general are always vulnerable whenever
Yeah.
there's extinction events.
Yeah.
Anyway, did you
Anyways.
enjoy your time at the Chengdu Giant Panda Research Base?
I did. It was really hot though. So it is really hot. I think it was like 88 degrees Fahrenheit at noon. So it has been really hot. So I understand why all the pandas are now in like the internal areas or like indoor areas. But it was very nice seeing the pandas. Like it almost like they looked very peaceful. Like and there's this juxtaposition with the pandas just looking very peaceful and enjoying their lives inside of the glass, and on the other side is like pandemonium. Pretty good, right?
It was good.
It's good. It's just like chaotic, like masses of people outside. So I thought that was pretty funny.
Yeah, the pandas are living their best lives for sure.
Yeah,
I wish I could just eat and sleep
Flower.
all day.
I don't. The end. Thanks for watching our Chengdu panda explorations. Shut up.
Say hi.